Hello everyone, how are you all now? Hope you are doing good. Today we are going to start our third unit, that is the Sale of Goods Act 1930. So here first of all, what do you mean by Sale of Goods Act? So here, what do you mean by Sale of Goods means according to the Sale of Goods Act 1930, Section 4 defines that where a seller transfers or agrees to transfer his property to the buyer is called a sale of goods. So what it is now? According to the Sale of Goods Act 1930, Section 4 defines that where a seller agrees or transfer his property from him to the buyer is called a Sale of Goods Act. So here we have a certain few essential elements for a valid sale. What are the essential elements for a valid sale? Let us look at them. So what are the essential elements? The first one is we need to have two parties here. So for a sale to become a valid means, what are the first point, ma'am? The first essential point is we need to have two parties. Who are those two parties? Means the first party is called a buyer and second party is called a seller. Without these persons, the transaction will not be happen, or absence of any person also will not be happen. Though the person seller is there and the buyer is not there, means also the transaction will not happen. Why? Because the receiver has to be there and the giver has to be there. So that's why we require two parties in the Sale of Goods Act. And next, what is the next point is we require goods here. So to transaction to be happen between the person, what we require means we require goods here. What type of goods we require means we require only the movable goods here. We require only the movable goods here. We are not allowed any unmovable. Immovable goods are not accountable in the sale of goods. They are not at all allowed in the sale of goods. Goods which are only the movable only will be acceptable. The immovable properties and immovable goods are not allowed in the Sale of Goods Act. And this is the second essential element for the valid sale. The first one is two parties we require, buyer and the seller. And next one is to happen any transaction between them, we require a goods like movable goods only. The third essential element for a valid sale is the price. So price has to be there for a goods, where the seller will be expecting something from the buyer like a consideration. Consideration means, as you know, something in return. Something, as the seller is giving his good to some other, definitely the person may expect some consideration from the buyer in the format. That's why they keep a price for a good. For example, this is there with him. As I am holding this chalk piece with me, I'll be the owner. When I transfer this chalk piece to you means the person will be the buyer and will be the owner. So as he was taking this good from me, I'll be expecting something for this good. So I'll be keeping a price for this chalk piece of 10 rupees. So the person who is taking this chalk piece has to pay me the 10 rupees in the format of the price here. So the third essential element for a valid sale is price here. And next one is fourth one is transfer of general properties here. So here the fourth essential element for a valid sale is transfer of general property here. So they may transfer the general properties also. The seller may transfer his property to the person who is willing to take at the consideration. See ma, without consideration, without expecting, without giving anything price, that won't be a sale of good. That will be a barter system. Barter system means, as you know, in olden days we will be exchanging a good for another good. So if that thing will happen means that won't be called as a sale of goods. So that's why for a good, if you are going to exchange any good means definitely it has to be in the price. Something should be given to the person called seller. Some consideration should be given, not for the good for good. That will become a barter system. That won't become a sale of goods. So that's why they'll be giving a price for every product and every good. And last essential element for a valid sale is essential element of valid contract. So the fifth essential element of valid sale is all the essential elements which are there in the valid contract. If it is included in the sales means that sale will become a valid. What are the essential element of a valid contract? We have discussed in the first unit the very important topic of for an acceptance, lawful consideration, upon intention to create a legal relationship, free and genuine consent. All those points, if those points are included in one sale means that sale also will become a valid sale. So this is the fifth point, fifth essential element for a valid sale. So we have five essential element for a valid sale. The first one is two parties. The two parties means we require buyer and as well as seller. And next one is goods. To do any transaction between these person, we require goods here. And for these goods, we require, they will be keeping a price also. The seller may expect something in return as he was transferring his property or a good. So price will be fixed here. And next one is transfer of general property. And fifth point is all the essential elements which are included in the valid contract. If those points are included in a sales means definitely that sale also will become a valid sale. This is all about the essentials of valid sale here. Clear ma? And this is the first topic in the third unit. Thank you ma.